So today I'm going to explain exactly how and why I left my hometown um, on purpose to travel the world, travel to multiple countries, as you can see. I don't mean to brag when I say this, but I've traveled to a ton of countries here in Southeast Asia. I'm in Thailand right now. I just was in Bali. I've been to Korea. I've been to Colombia. I've been to Hawaii. I've been many places, and I'm going to continue to travel the world in 2026. But leaving your hometown is something mental that a lot of people do, struggle with. A lot of people are very attached to their hometown, like I was, but breaking out of it and essentially leaving it behind and traveling the world has completely shifted my reality. It's changed my life, and I'm going to break down exactly how and why I did it and how it can change your life as well. With that being said, no hate to my hometown at all. I do respect my hometown, but sometimes there are periods in life where we have to take a step out and grow and everything like that. And that leads me to why essentially I left my hometown. First of all, I was surrounded by the same people that raised me, the same people that helped me, grow into the woman I was. Um, and I'm extremely grateful for that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is different periods of life where people just need to grow. And I felt like I needed to grow. I needed to change my environment. I had an inner calling, but I was fearful, of course. I was a little bit fearful because I haven't really left my hometown for long periods of time, and I was afraid what people thought of me. So, I mean, reason number one right here, I, while in my hometown, my growth as a human being was stagnant. It was stagnant. Years ago, it was stagnant. When I left and I started traveling and experiencing other countries and cultures, the gap between who I was and who I was becoming, a newer, better version, higher version of myself, who I was becoming, her self development was accelerating at a very, very high speed compared to me being in my hometown or home state that was kind of capping how far I could grow. I wanted to leave and cut ties to an old version of myself. The version of myself who was fearful of traveling, fearful of networking, fearful of, winning, even fearful of putting herself out there fully because she was so wrapped into her old life and her old beliefs where she was scared to take that step. I used to struggle years ago. I used to struggle with anxiety, depression, and in the same environment, the same town, I started to beat it. But I wanted to cut ties with it. I wanted to drop it all off. I wanted a fresh start, and traveling was the way to cut all ties for me. I also was stuck in the same loop. I felt like in my hometown a year or two ago, I moved out of my parents' house and I got my own apartment in the same state, but growth still felt stagnant a little bit because I was still surrounded by the same people. I love the people, but I was still surrounded by them. Um, and I wanted to be surrounded by, high level entrepreneurs and people who thought the same way I did so I could elevate and continue to grow. Not that I will never visit my hometown again, not that I don't like my hometown, but simply about growing. There's a season for growth. I'm in my growth season in my life where I'm becoming the best version of myself, and leaving my hometown and growing in that direction was the path for me. And it could be the path for you. And I always go back to that point of who you hang out with is who you are. And again, I left my hometown to get another circle. Get a circle of people who think like me, who want to achieve success like I do, who have achieved success like I do. People who like to get out there, get out of their comfort zone, accomplish big things, and essentially one percenters. And I wanted to get out there. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to explore new cultures. And I did it. And I've completely reaped the rewards. So that's essentially why I left my hometown. I felt stagnant. And if you're watching this video right now and you feel a little bit like that, you're not alone. I felt like I was drifting back a little bit into my old self, who had these bad habits, who had stress, anxiety, depression. And sometimes I felt stuck in my own mind. I felt like I re-trapped myself in a loop where it wasn't much better than where I came from, Walmart. I was working at Walmart 3 years ago, and it wasn't much better from where I came from. I was trapping myself in a cycle, in a circle that didn't truly feel free. I told myself it felt free, but really, it didn't. So leaving your hometown could be the best decision you make for your personal growth and personal development as, a woman. Now, how has traveling completely shifted my reality, changed my life, and helped me become a better person? And what lessons did I learn along the way that helped me do so? And this is the part where I'm about to jump into what changed my life, traveling did. And there is a big gap between who I was before I started traveling and who I am now, traveling the world with my mentors, friends, and business partners. And I could not be more grateful for, the opportunity I've had to travel. And the biggest lessons, they start here. First of all, something I didn't realize before I started traveling the world is social awareness. And this was a few months ago. I was drinking, and I wasn't off of sugar at the time. I was drinking a Starbucks Frappuccino in a Starbucks with my business partners. And I drank it, and it hit me, and it hit my brain, and it completely screwed up my focus. It screwed up my mental clarity and even thought processes around just thinking like a normal person. And one of my business partners, I was talking to them, and he was giving me feedback on something, and I just, my brain could not take it at all, and I stormed out embarrassingly. And we still laugh about it till this day because it's embarrassing, but something I can grow from. And social awareness is so important. I had no idea I was indoctrinated into drinking sugar in America, and I didn't know how impactful and how much attention I drew to myself um, when I stormed out of that room. My business partner later told me that a bunch of eyes were on me, and then people were not shaking their heads at me. I had no idea. It leads to other things in life. I think back, I'm like, what else did I miss in life? Where else did I accidentally cause a scene? Where else was I accidentally disrespectful without even knowing? Social awareness is very important. And what I do now is something that I call stoicism. I like to bring my stoic version of myself, and I'm still learning at this time, but a stoic version of myself in social settings and social situations. Gloria, why do you do that? What does stoicism even mean? Stoicism means simply you're calm when there's a storm. You're calm when there's no storm. So stoic and stoicism means that nothing can affect you, nothing external can impact you, and you're definitely not going to go out to a local Starbucks, drink a Frappuccino with 45 grams of sugar, and storm out of the Starbucks because you feel uncomfortable, right? Stoicism is one of those skills that I started to adapt after I was put in check over the past few months. And I could not be more grateful for it because it's helping me adapt myself into someone who actually can go out in public without causing a scene, without being a burden or being embarrassing to be around. Imagine that. So another thing about traveling that changed my life, like completely shifted my perspective, is that I'm from America, first of all, the Midwest, where eating sugar is normal, by the way. I didn't know that not everyone struggles, with fidgeting, ADHD, anxiety, in other countries. People here are so chill. I'm in Chiang Mai right now in Thailand. Here are so chill, and they're so laid back, and there's no stress anywhere. There's no low frequencies anywhere. Everyone's at a very high frequency. They're living their life. And I have utmost respect for people like that because they've unlocked an area of their brain, or they were just like this from birth, right? Where things are just flowing. Life is just flowing. They're flowing through life. And it's not a struggle to get through life. I'm in America. I'm drinking energy drinks, frappuccinos. I'm filling my brain with sugar, fogging up my pineal gland. And life is so freaking hard in America. But I come here and I'm like, wow, life is so easy. These people in Thailand make less than I do, less money than I do. And life is so easy for them. Not everybody in every country has stress issues and anxiety and depression issues. Sorry, girl. It's you. And it's your surroundings and it's what you're consuming on a daily basis. And it's America. I'm going to be real. And once you leave, traveling changed my mindset around America. I'm like, whoa, sugar is normalized. No wonder why obesity is at its highest in America. Because everything that's bad is normalized where I'm from, where I grew up, essentially. As a kid, I was told a little bit that I shouldn't eat that much sugar. But I'm at this point in my life where I'm eating a diet in Thailand where I cut out all sugars because I cannot sacrifice my mental clarity at this point. And that's how traveling, it shifted my reality. It completely shifted my reality. And the last thing that's so important that changed my life, it helped me become a better person, a better traveler, someone that makes more money in general, is seeing real poverty. I'm going to put a clip on the screen right here. I took a video. I went on a trip a few weeks ago in northern Thailand, and I've never been in that area of Thailand before. And I've never seen poverty like this before either in my life. And it struck me deep down. Like, wow, I feel more grateful for what I have. My problems aren't as tough. I run a business right now, an online business, and my problems aren't that bad. I saw real poverty. I saw people working without internet, Wi-Fi, people working in huts and wearing their robes and going out and getting their, water pitchers. And once you see what real poverty looks like, it will slap you in the face. And I had that. Growing up, I grew up in a middle-class family. Of course, we weren't struggling. My family wasn't, but we weren't crazy, wealthy as well. Very grateful for everything my parents provided for me. But same time, I've never seen that real poverty, and it helped me zoom out in life. Considering what those people have to do on a daily basis, my problems are not that bad. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for my business. I'm grateful for my problems. I'm grateful for everything, my life and what I get to do in a daily living or what I get to do on the daily. And it completely shifted my reality on how other people in this world function. And it's easy to get just stuck in your day-to-day brain on what is happening, right here, right now, versus zooming out and realizing, hey, our problems aren't that bad. They're really not that bad. So that's how traveling completely shifted my reality. And hopefully this inspired you to take action and leave your hometown and travel as well.